Hare Krishna, my dear ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome to our first live stream in Kartik months. Now we have Kartik months, and it is a very, very special month. And there is one very, very special Leela, one very, very special pastime. We remember every morning and every evening during this month. And this, of course, my dear devotees, my dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the Damodara Lila. We will dive now into this, into this very, very sweet pastime of Sri Krishna. Do you know what Krishna loves? Of course, he likes many things, but think about one. What does Krishna like? Of course, he likes his devotees, so he likes you, but there are other things as well he really, really likes, and he really loves butter. One of his favorites is butter. He loves butter so much that even if there are other milk products, other milk sweets are in the house, he is preferring butter. He wants to eat butter. And not just that he just wants to eat the butter, he is even going to the neighbor's house and stealing their butter from the storehouses. Of course, we know that our little Krishna is going to the neighbor and stealing the butter, and he's using this activity because he wants to steal the neighbor's hearts. But Mother Yashoda, Krishna's mother, is not aware of this. Everything what she sees is that her little son is going to the neighbor's house and stealing. And frankly speaking, she is absolutely freaking out about this. I mean, she didn't observe it personally, but the neighbors complained. The neighbors complained to her that her little son would go to their houses and steal the butter. That's unacceptable. What she's thinking, why is my son doing this? What is he doing there? Why he's going to the neighbor's house and stealing? The only solution or the only cause Mother Yashoda can think about is that her own butter isn't good enough. I mean, she's personally instructing the maidservants how to do the butter. She's there to guide them. But still, Krishna seems not to like her own butter. She's very doubtful of the quality of her own butter. So she makes a plan. She makes the plan that she wants to do the best ever butter Krishna had ever tasted. This butter should be so delicious that there is no reason to go to any neighbor's house to steal their butter. She would make the yogurt personally, she would churn the yogurt personally with her own hands, and in that way, she would prevent our little Krishna from stealing the butter from the neighbor's house. Because that is unacceptable. Why he is doing this? So, one morning, she decided, okay, today is the day I'm doing the butter for Krishna. She's getting up very early. Krishna's still asleep. She dresses on a very beautiful saffron sari, tights it very tightly with a belt around her waist. She also has golden bangles, and she has earrings in her ears, malati flowers in her hair. And in a very early morning atmosphere, she goes to the place where the yogurt gets churned, and she starts churning the yogurt. While she's churning the yogurt, she's thinking about everything that had happened with Krishna, all the pastimes she were engaged in. For example, she was thinking about Putana, how Krishna was killing the evil witch Putana, or about Trinivarta, how this wind came and Krishna killed him. Or very sweet things also, like how Krishna started to crawl and to walk. And she's not only thinking about this, her tongue and her voice producing very sweet songs about all the pastimes. So while Mother Yashoda is churning the yogurt, she's singing about Krishna's pastimes. Not only is she singing, the bangles and the earrings and her golden belt and also her ankle belts, they are very, very happy that they are worn on that day by Mother Yashoda. Because, first of all, when Mother Yashoda is wearing the ornaments, these ornaments can serve a very pure devotee, a devotee who's serving Krishna. And second of all, they can see Krishna a lot of times during that day. Because when they just kept in a box in Mother Yashoda's room, they cannot see Krishna so often. So they're very, very happy that Mother Yashoda is wearing them at that day. And while she's singing and absorbing herself in the Lila, in the pastimes of Krishna, they accompany Mother Yashoda very, very sweetly. They shaking while Mother Yashoda is churning the yogurt. And very harmoniously, the earrings jingle and producing a very sweet sound. The golden bell around her waist joins in as well. And they create such a beautiful sound that it sounds like an expert karate player. So now we have the singing, the ornaments make the carousels, and guess who is making the Madanga sound? I found this very funny when I was reading this, and the Madanga sound is actually produced by the churning rod. The churning rod makes a sound like a Madanga. I cannot do a Madanga sound so good, but it sounds a little bit like grut, 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 grut. So everything is engaged in this loving mood, in this service mood. Mother Yashoda's mind is thinking about Krishna's pastimes. Her ears are hearing, the tongue is singing, her hands are engaged in service to make the best butter Krishna ever tasted. The earrings are happy, the churning rod is happy, this sweet, special morning atmosphere. Everything is just like in a trance. Everything is perfectly serving Krishna in the moment. But then Krishna wakes up. Like I said, it's very early in the morning, and usually Mother Yashoda is always there when Krishna wakes up. She's hugging him, she's kissing him, she makes sure he has everything he needs. But on that day, she wasn't there. And Krishna wakes up and it's a little bit upset. What is going on here? Where's my mother? Why she's not here? She's always here. Then suddenly she hears her songs. So Krishna is getting out of the bed, following the voice, and while he's like following the voice, he's calling, "Ma, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, Ma." But Mother Yashoda is so absorbed in her churning and in her thinking about Krishna that she cannot realize that actually Krishna is calling her. So little Krishna, our sweet little Krishna, is getting more upset. He even bites his lip a little bit and says again, "Ma, I'm hungry." And when she sees her churning the rod, he immediately goes there and with his both hands stops the churning rod. Then he says again, "Ma, I'm hungry." He lets go of the churning rod, goes to Mother Yashoda, climbs on her lap, and then he starts drinking the breast milk of Mother Yashoda. The Acharya moment, the breast milk is enjoying the moment. The breast milk is just flowing, 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 and doesn't want to stop. She wants to serve the milk, the breast milk, wants to serve Krishna as long as he's satisfied. But Krishna cannot be satisfied. So the milk is flowing and flowing, and Krishna is continuing to drink and to drink. And Mother Yashoda was so absorbed in this loving situation that she totally forgot time. She glanced at her son and forgot the time. Not only did she forget the time, she also forgot that she had some milk on the stove. Despite of having making yogurt, making butter, churning the yogurt to make butter for Krishna, she also had milk on the stove for Krishna, and this milk was from very, very special cows. It was from very, very special cows. Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows, and 100 of them are Padmaganda cows. They get fed like very special fragrant grass. They also release a fragrant scent, and they produce very sweet milk, very special milk. And this special milk was Mother Yashoda was cooking for Krishna. Now, this milk was observing that Krishna was drinking the breast milk, and he's not stopping drinking that breast milk. So, what's the use of me? The milk on the stove was thinking. What's the use of me? Krishna will be satisfied by Krishna's breast milk, so why should I go through this austerity of being heated up? I'm useless, and when I cannot serve Krishna, why should I live? So I will commit suicide. I will jump in the fire. And the milk was boiling over, or higher and higher and higher, and was about to boil over. And Mother Yashoda saw this, and she really wanted to save that special milk extra for Krishna from the special cows fed with the special grass. She wanted to save it. So she put Krishna down and ran into the kitchen to save that special milk. When the milk saw that Mother Yashoda had put down Krishna, the milk was so embarrassed. She was so full of shame because she realized she had committed a great offense. Actually, Mother Yashoda was so happy feeding Krishna, and now the milk with her boiling action interrupted her service. And she thought, oh my God, I'm such a great offender. I interrupted Mother Yashoda and Krishna. And from this shock, she already went back in. But Mother Yashoda was already on her way, saving the milk. Whew. What was now our little Krishna thinking? Of course, he was upset. Not only upset, he became really, really angry. How dare she put me aside while I am still drinking? First, she is not there when I wake up, does what knows what. Then she not even hears me when I call her, and now I'm drinking and she is not. Let me finish. I'm still hungry and she just puts me aside. How dare she? And he became so angry, he bit his little teeth and said, she will be sorry. I will break everything in the house. And he looked around and saw a stone. He took this stone with his little hands and smashed it against the butter pot. Of course, the butter pot broke and the yogurt spilled out. Huge mess. Huge mess. Krishna took some butter out, some half-finished butter. Everything was dripping. Yogurt was running out of the pot. Everything was dripping in his hands. And then he ran away with this dripping butter, leaving a huge yogurt mess. So he was going to another room where he found yesterday's butter even. He took also that yesterday's butter, went to another room, and there he sat on a turnaround wooden grinding mortar and began to pretend to eat the butter. Suddenly, monkeys appeared, and Krishna started to feed the monkeys with that butter he had just taken. But he was not cautiously, carefully feeding the monkeys. He was creating an even bigger mess. It is described that he was throwing butter to the monkeys' directions. So, I mean, you can imagine monkeys itself make quite a mess. They like taking everything apart. But then now Krishna is even throwing butter in their directions to feed them. So there was like butter mess everywhere in that room. And Krishna seemed like not stopping. He doesn't want to stop this nonsense. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda came back to the place where she had just churned the yogurt. She saw the broken pot. She saw Krishna was missing, which indicated to her that he was the culprit. He must have done that. And her reaction is quite astonishing. It is said that she smiled when she saw that mess. She smiled because, the acharyas say, she realized she wanted to save one thing, but in the process, she lost much more. She lost her best butter she wanted to do for Krishna. So, and that's why she was smiling. But while she was still smiling and wondering, she thought, oh, I cannot let Krishna get away with that. And then she saw little, tiny, sweet, cute footprints. Yogurt footprints. Little Krishna was stepping through the yogurt while he was going through the room to another place. So Mother Yashoda could just follow the yogurt sweet footprints to see where her darling son went. And that she did. Meanwhile, little Krishna was now not so happy engaged in feeding the monkeys anymore. He still fed the monkeys, but he realized and he knew he had done something really wrong. And he was anxious that Mother Yashoda would come and chastise him and find him. So while he was feeding the monkeys, he anxiously looked around. He looked this way and that way. Always like thinking, will she come? Will she come soon and catch me and punish me? So he was very afraid of getting caught. He was very nervous. When Mother Yashoda saw him from a distance, she approached him from behind. She approached him from behind, and not only had she an angry face, she also had a stick in her hand. But Krishna could see her before Yashoda reached him. And when Krishna saw Mother Yashoda with an angry face and a stick in her hand, he was anxious like anything. He was fearing her. So he jumped down from the mortar and ran. If I will be just fast enough, he was thinking, she will not be able to catch me, and then I will be saved. So he was just running like super fast, super fast. This is a very special point because Krishna having fear is not something which happens very, very often. Outside of Vrindavan, the fear in person is in fear of Krishna. But here Mother Yashoda is showing a little stick and Krishna is super afraid. So in that way he can taste all kinds of emotions. All the range of emotions Krishna also can taste if he allows himself to enter this parental ras. So Mother Yashoda, deeply in parental ras, wants to wants to teach him what is right and wrong. He says, I cannot let my little Krishna go away with that. I cannot let him go away, so I need to catch him. So she was determined to catch him. And Mother Yashoda started running after him. So little Krishna was running through the rooms of the house. Mother Yashoda with the stick running behind him during the house, all the rooms in the house. And she wasn't used to running, so you can imagine how it looks when a small boy, like very flink, very fast, is going through every house, and then the mother is trying to catch him from behind. So, but then not only Krishna was running through all the rooms in his own house, then he left the house and ran to the streets of Gokul. So all the neighbors could see what was going on, and they were astonished. Oh my Krishna. They saw Krishna. Okay, that's not so unusual. Krishna's running, but then they saw Mother Yashoda running behind him with a stick in her hand, and they were thinking, what is going on here? Usually when Krishna and Mother Yashoda are together, they are like in awe and in love, and they are like totally in affection for each other. But now Mother Yashoda is running behind Krishna, and they were wondering why. What is Krishna up to? What must have happened that Mother Yashoda is running behind him with a stick, and Krishna running zigzag through Gokul, and not that he just stayed outside. No, everyone who didn't know yet what's going on, he ran to the neighbors' houses. He entered the houses, was running through the rooms, Mother Yashoda behind him, and going out on the street again to another house, to another neighbor's house. Imagine your little neighbor just comes in your room, in your house, in your flat, just runs through all the rooms, the mother behind with a stick, also running behind him through all the rooms, and then out they are again. That's the scene in the moment in Vrindavan. So Mother Yashoda is really, really determined to catch little Krishna. The inhabitants of Gokul, the villagers, are really like in astonishment. What is going on here? The flowers in Mother Yashoda's hair, they're also like, oh my God, whom we should help? Should we help Mother Yashoda, or should we help Krishna? We will. Some of them decided then to jump down from Mother Yashoda's head, that she is lighter and maybe can catch him. So in that way, Mother Yashoda was really, really determined, but she couldn't. And she was an kind of elderly lady also, and she just couldn't quite reach him. And she got really tired after a long time, but exactly in that moment, Krishna allowed her to catch him. This is really out of this world, because there are yogis who are meditating for thousands of years with the goal that they can reach Krishna. They can travel with the speed of the mind, and they want to reach Krishna, but even after thousands of years of meditating, Krishna is not allowing them to get caught. But here, after a long chase, Mother Yashoda caught Krishna. And she caught him at his right hand. She caught him at the right hand. And then it is described that as soon as Mother Yashoda catched Krishna, all the tears in the world came to Krishna's rescue. That's the weapon of little children, tears. They start to cry. And so all the tears in the world came to his rescue immediately when Mother Yashoda catched him. Streams, oceans, rivers of tears were flowing from Krishna's eyes, and with his left hand he rubbed his sweet little eyes and pushed the tears away, and while he's rubbing his eyes, he smeared the kajal he had around his eyes, and he smeared it all over the face, and he looked even more beautiful when he smeared this kajal everywhere. But Mother Yashoda was still very angry, and even if he looked to her little sweet beautiful girl now down, she was scrolling him. She still had a stick in her hand, and while she's chastising him, she's waving always the stick. Oh, you friend of the monkeys, are you a monkey relative? What are you doing? Why are you feeding the monkeys so freely? You break the butter pot. Now I have truth. I didn't want to believe it when the complaints came, but now caught you red-handed." And she was always like waving with her stick in her hand. And Krishna, when he looked up at Mother Yashoda, he was shaking. He was crying in fear, and he rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. "Please let me go. Please let me go," he said. And then Mother Yashoda realized, okay, maybe the stick is a little bit much, so she threw the stick away. Krishna played now the role of an innocent child, but Mother Yashoda, like crying and "please let me go." But Mother Yashoda was determined to chastise him this time. "You are the king of thieves, now I know. You are the friend of the monkey. You behave like one, exactly like a monkey you behave." And then Krishna said, "All right, then I will run away and live with the monkeys." That made Mother Yashoda really concerned. She couldn't take the risk that Krishna was running away. And she wanted to go actually back to her household duties. She wanted to do the best butter in the world for him. Still now she needed to chastise him and wanted to chastise him. And she could not leave him unattended, because then what's the chastisement? And he would just maybe run really off to the forest to live with the monkeys. So she thought about what she could do, and then she had an idea. I will just bind him up. I will just bind him up at this grinding mortar. And she took a ribbon from her hair and tried to bind Krishna. But when she took the ribbon around him and the mortar, it was 2 fingers too short. Of course, all the villagers were around, and they observing the scene. What's going on here? Okay, now Mother Yashoda caught him. Mother Yashoda sent then another gopi to her house, to Mother Yashoda's house, to bring more rope. The gopi was bringing more rope. Mother Yashoda was tying it all together. She wanted to bind Krishna again, but still, when these 2 ends came together, still the rope was 2 fingers short. So she asked the gopi, "Please bring more rope. I need more rope." So the gopis were bringing more rope from Mother Yashoda's house. Still 2 fingers short. So what was the problem here? The problem is, my dear ladies and gentlemen, that Krishna is not an ordinary child. Krishna is God. So he is everywhere. He's inside, he's outside, he is in every direction, is Krishna. So how can the rope do his job? How can the rope go around everything? And the rope is also a part of the creation. So how can the Lord get bound by a part of his own existence? It's not so easy to bind God, to bind the Lord, to bind everything. But still Mother Yashoda was determined. Some acharyas also say that the rope actually did not want to bind Krishna, because when Krishna glanced at the rope got liberated. And which liberated soul wants to bind another one to this material world? I found this explanation also very enlightening, very sweet. So it was not working. The rope didn't want, or it's very difficult to bind everything, to bind Krishna. But still, Mother Yashoda is not aware of all this majesty, what's going on there. And she just sees her naughty little Krishna, who she thinks needs a punishment right now. So she's not giving up. She's asking the gopis, because her rope in the house is now finished, she's asking the gopis to bring all the ropes from their houses. Still, she is tying it everything together, bringing it around Krishna. Still, 2 fingers short with all the rope from all the village. There was still no more rope left. Still 2 fingers short. Mother Yashoda then told they should search everywhere to bring more rope. So she was so determined. And then, finally, Krishna gave the permission. She was very exhausted. Her hair was disheveled. The clothes were disarrayed. The flowers had fallen from her hair. But then, finally, Krishna showed some mercy. And finally, she could tie the rope around his belly. And these were the 2 fingers. That's where the 2 fingers missing. The determination of Mother Yashoda, she did not give up. Even some gopis had said, just leave it. He's not meant to be tied up. But she was still determined. And the other one, the other finger, which was missing, is Krishna's mercy. That's what we need. Our determination, and we need Krishna's mercy. And then we can bind Krishna to us or to something. Like Mother Yashoda on the mortar, on the wooden mortar. And that's what Damodar means. The meaning of Damodar is he around whose stomach is a rope. That's Damodar. He around whose stomach is a rope. Did you know that there is actually an original pastime of Damodar in the spiritual world? It was one time that Radha and Krishna wanted to meet. But Krishna was late. So when Krishna finally came, Radha was a little bit upset and she looked like in a loving anger at Krishna. And when Krishna then came, she took her golden belt and quickly bound Krishna up. She didn't have to chase him, anything like that. Radha could just quickly tie Krishna up with her golden belt. And then Krishna pleaded that there was a festival in Nandagram and I couldn't leave. So Radharani was happy with that excuse and she untied him again. But Krishna was so happy that he said, from now on, I take great pride if someone calls me Damodar, because Radharani had tied me. And he also said that he would manifest this pastime in Gokul one day, on earth, when he appeared on earth. And that time, he would be bound by Mother Yashoda. So there's original Damodara Lila in the spiritual world. So now Mother Yashoda, back on earth, Mother Yashoda had tied our Krishna. She had tied him and she went to engage herself in the household duties. Krishna was bound now to the mortar and nobody could do anything. Not even Balaram could do anything. I mean, if any other boy would have tied him up, he could release him. But Mother Yashoda, I cannot do anything when Mother Yashoda tied you up. So then the elders kind of left. Mother Yashoda went back to the house. And Krishna saw then 2 Arjuna trees in the yard. And actually, these 2 Arjuna trees, they were cursed brothers. They were cursed by Narada Muni to become trees. What happened? What was the problem that Narada Muni is cursing someone to get a tree? You have to know, these 2 brothers are the sons of Kuvera. And Kuvera is the demigod of wealth. So these 2 brothers had access to a lot of wealth and a lot of abundance. I mean, demigods itself, they're enjoying a lot. But these 2 brothers were the sons of the demigod of wealth. So they usually were sporting around. They usually were sporting around in flower gardens, also near Mount Kailash. And they played on some days and also on that day in the Mandakini River. Not only they played in the Mandakini River, they were also getting drunk from Varuni and they bathed with naked women. You have to know There are places for the demigods which usually enjoy a lot in the heavenly planets, and they usually sport around in rivers and they also drink Varuni. Not a problem, really. But there are places for enjoyment and there are places for spiritual activities. So the Mandakini River was not a place for enjoyment. The Mandakini River was a place for spiritual purification. And when Narada Muni came there to visit Mount Kailash, he wanted to purify himself in the river. And then he saw these two boys sporting around with this I don't know how many, with this naked woman. And when the women saw Narada Muni, they covered themselves immediately. And this saved them from getting cursed. But these two boys, they were really they stayed naked and they behaved in a really intoxicated, disrespectful manner towards Narada Muni. And they were really unfriendly and they were really rude and really not respectful to Narada Muni. But Narada Muni saw that the intoxication is not only coming from the liquor, from the Varuni they were drinking. This intoxication is most of all coming from the wealth of their father. And this is the worst type of intoxication. The Acharyas say there is actually nothing wrong with wealth, but when you get it, you should purify the wealth. You should give something in charity. This will prevent you from getting proud and puffed up about it. So Narada Muni was thinking, okay, how can I cure these two boys from their intoxication by wealth? And he was thinking, I will apply poverty. When they suffer poverty, they will respect other living beings more because, they didn't behave nicely towards Narada Muni. So when they're poor, they will understand that respect toward other people is very important. And when they suffer themselves, they don't want others to suffer in the same way, and they will become sober. So that's why Narada Muni cursed them to lose all their wealth and become trees. As soon as he cursed them, they begged him to forgive them. They begged him to relieve the curse. But that's not possible because a curse spoken cannot be ended. So it was too late. But Narada Muni added something after they really pleaded for forgiveness. He added that they will be trees for a very, very long time, but one day they will have darshan of the Lord and they will get liberated from the Lord personally and will be relieved from the curse. So here we are now. These two Arjuna trees, cursed brothers for a long time, standing in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's father. Krishna is seeing them, and even when he is bound himself, he knows he's God. He knows of the curse of Narada Muni and who knows about these two trees. So he's crawling now to these two trees to liberate these two trees, even if he's bound himself. So Krishna can go in between the trees, but the wooden mortar is getting stuck. And when Krishna is trying to pull the mortar through the trees, immediately these two trees are crashing down. They're crashing down, and out come two very effulgent figures. These two very effulgent figures, they offer beautiful prayers to Krishna, and then they rose in the sky. Gone. Jiva Goswami explains they become then poets later in Nanda Maharaj's court in the spiritual world. So as soon as these two trees fall down, woof, the Brajbasis felt like they got struck by thunder. It was so heavy, and everyone came running, and everyone came like, what was going on here? And some saw it that there were like effulgent figures coming out, praying to Krishna, and then leaving, and everyone wondered, who is this Krishna again? And they wondered about his identity. But then, of course, Nanda Maharaj came also. And he went to Krishna and untied him. And he asked Krishna, who tied you up? Actually, the Bhagavatam ends when Nanda Maharaj goes to Krishna and unties him. So, but then Jiva Goswami explains it further, tells the story a little further. So Nanda Maharaj is then asking, who tied you up? And Krishna said it was Mother Yashoda. With that, Nanda Maharaj couldn't do anything anymore. It was Mother Yashoda. But he took Krishna to the Yamuna. He bathed him. He asked the Brahmanas to chant some purifying mantras. They went home, and Nanda Maharaj then told them some stories. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda was all alone in her room, and she was so remorse. She was so sad of having bound Krishna. She was just crying and crying and crying in her room, and she would not leave her room. She could not talk to anyone. She was just sitting alone in her room and was so devastated about what she had done. After dinner, Mother Rohini went to her and asked her that she wanted to eat something, but she's just eyes really red and crying and refusing to eat, and then it was not possible. It was not possible for Rohini to satisfy her. So Rohini went to Nanda Maharaj with other maidservants of the palace, and they told him, you see, King, your wife has not eaten all day. I mean, this we know very early in the morning this all happened. But now all day she has not eaten, and she also didn't speak to anyone. Then Nanda looked at Krishna. Nanda Maharaj looked at Krishna and asked him, do you want to go to your mother? And Krishna said, no, I will stay with you. Then the maidservants were really upset, and they asked, whose milk will you drink when you're hungry? I will drink the cow's milk with sugar. And with whom will you play? I will play with my brother and my father. So Krishna was really no, she bound me up. I'm not going to her anymore. But Rohini said then that he was really merciless if he lets his mother crying like this. But then when he heard that his mother is crying, he also started to crying, but he did not go to his mother. He got to his father and crawled on his lap. And then Nanda Maharaj showed his fist and said, what should I do? How should I punish mother? And then Krishna put down the fist and said, no. And Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj said, yeah, you're right. No punishment further needed. She will anyway die on a broken heart. She will die from sorrow. And when Krishna heard that his mother will die, that there is no other punishment needed because she's so full of pity and will die, then he's asking, where's my mother? Where's my mother? And he ran to Rohini. Rohini embraced him, took him to Mother Yashoda's room, put him down, and then he ran on Mother Yashoda's bed, jumped on the bed and hugged and kissed her. And in that moment, like a really, from deep down, a deep sobbing sound came out of Mother Yashoda. Everyone in the palace heard it. All this pain, all this suffering, what she had done to Krishna came out in this sob by the embrace of Krishna. And then everyone started to cry. Nanda Maharaj started to cry. the maidservant started to cry. Rohini started to cry. Everyone who's seeing the scene, hearing her deep, deep sob, was just crying and also happy in ecstasy that Mother Yashoda and Krishna were back together. So, and then Mother Yashoda just had her little Krishna back in her arm, and Krishna started to drink her breast milk again. And this is how the Damodara Lila ends for today, my dear ladies and gentlemen. I hope this gives you further meditation while you're offering your Kartik lamp every morning or evening, and you can take something out of the story to really meditate further on. There are so much more details about this pastime, so keep on listening, keep on reading. So much nectar still I couldn't tell, but I hope you had a wonderful time, and I see you next time on live storytelling. Hare Krishna.